Konnichiwa, wherever you are, wherever you're going, passing through. Welcome to Café con Gas. I am so excited to be here with you this evening. Whew, what's going on? There's a lot of things happening in the news, on my news feed, outside. Apparently, some Boston area schools have been shut down. There is a blizzard warning for the Essex area. I was just catching up at the front desk when I was coming in, and I actually asked Allison, who works here at Cambridge Community Television, I said, you know, there's been a lot of talk about Beyonce's new video on my news feed, but like, who are you following on Twitter in the land of meteorology? I kind of have to shift my priorities a little bit and make sure that I have the most up-to-date information on the weather. We're supposed to get a foot of snow, so we'll see kind of what's going to happen. What's going to happen this evening. Again, very excited to be here with you this evening. It is Café con Gas. Last time we had a guest, Lama Rod, sharing his meditation and his work. I'm going to post that video on YouTube. I apologize for being a little bit late. I actually had something I'm going to mention, not because I'm necessarily here venting, but I'm going to get up close and up close and personal for a second. I had a really interesting experience. I had a recent health scare. I've been out for a little bit. I've been off of my dancing shoes. Actually, this is really relevant to tonight's emotional check-in. But essentially, what I wanted to share in the name of Healing Arts and Diversity is a little bit of my own experience, if this is going to help anybody outside. But I went to the podiatrist to have something checked out on my foot, and he saw a mole that he didn't like. And I went through this whole process of getting a biopsy, waiting for pathology reports, going to Beth Israel for this biopsy. It was they cut out a piece of tissue on the tightest part of my foot. And what was interesting about the experience is that I was terrified. I went through a lot thinking, what would my life be like if I couldn't walk or feed myself for a week? That's really intense. Who would I call on for support? And I sought the best care possible. So thankfully, I'm melanoma free, but I wanted to also take a moment to direct you. Melanoma.org, there's a research foundation and a patient forum where people of all stages of melanoma, which is a form of skin cancer, gets together and shares resources. And I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you so much for those who shared and also listened to me talk about my biopsy experience. It was one of those moments where it restored my faith in the internet versus be really petrified of it. Not of it, but really be... the internet is either a place of human creativity or the place of like the worst things in the world. But I feel like that happens with every single communication platform that we have. So just sharing a little bit of that, and also let's just go ahead and cut to that emotional check-in. As I mentioned, feeling happy, feeling just a little bit cautious. I got the clearance. Last week, I definitely was feeling like all of these lower regional feelings, overwhelmed, slightly enraged, a little bit exhausted. It was a very intense experience. Oops, excuse me. It was a very intense experience. So again, this is kind of what has been going on in my realm here on Café con Gas, live from Cambridge Community Television. For those of you who have not tuned in to Café con Gas is a show that brings dialogue alive on healing arts and diversity with occasional guests. It's a show that I created after being in my media and democracy class, learning that only 12% of news rooms, the managing editors, are people of color. I didn't want to wait to be given something. I had to create something in the meanwhile, and community television has been a really great space to find my voice. So what's going on tonight for Healing Arts and Diversity? I have a little bit of a treat, and I'm going to give a shout out to one of, I got to give a shout out to Miss Kira Daniels for this one. I went with her to a show. Her boyfriend's former housemates have started a band, and they're called Bejavú, and in the name of Healing Arts and Diversity, I'm going to start the show off with them. I needed a little bit of music before we get into some heavier topics and a little bit of celebration. They recently performed at the Cantab Lounge at the last snowstorm. And it was a really, really great show. It was really great to see people come out. They have a great following. And they recently submitted a video for the NPR Tiny Desk 2016 competition. I've shown videos from the Tiny Desk before. I love their intro. They have a really great sound. And I wanted to bring this video as a little healing arts and diversity. The mix of Bejavú, I really, really like their sounds. I'm going to let you decipher for yourself what you think about it and bring you some local talent. They are from Somerville, Massachusetts. If if you didn't know, Somerville is the city next to Cambridge, Massachusetts, and also home to the most artists per capita in the country. Really interesting fact. So here is Bejavú. I hope you enjoy it. It's been a while since I've had to transition between shots. We're gonna do this now and enjoy. It's it's a fantastic performance. They bring a lot of life. And I think for me, being in the audience, it was just really nice to see a group of guys having fun and making noise and being joyful about it. So check out Bejavú. That's our, check out Bejavú. Check out Bejavú. I think they're going to be doing really big things. And special shout out to that sax. That just, that jazz sax like really made my day. I'm pulling Café con Gas up a little bit. So, all right, we're going to transition. Usually I kind of wedge art song in the middle, but we're just going to go right in. All right, we're just gonna go right in. All right, so what's going on in the news today? There's the Super Bowl, Beyonce's performance. She also released a video last night, Formation. If you didn't watch, there's also the Republican debate last night. So here is the beginning of the Republican presidential debate. I'm gonna go back to Gloria Steinem in a second, but I just wanna start with this. I'm just going to show you this clip. Again, I don't give too much attention to Trump's face because it's pure bigotry, but it is a part of the discussion in America, so I need to integrate this somehow. And I'm going to do this by showing this clip from last night's GOP debate.
So let's welcome the candidates for the Republican nomination for president. New Jersey Governor Chris Christie. Texas Senator Ted Cruz. Florida Senator Marco Rubio.
Former Florida Governor Jeb Bush.
I'm just gonna pause it. Do you remember in kindergarten where you were asked to form a lunch line, or maybe in 5th grade, or just what lines are for? I saw this clip and everyone was laughing about it, and there was a hashtag, oh, this is so awkward. But I'm looking at this clip, and do you see? It's really alarming that these candidates cannot even not even respond to a moderator saying please step forward, that they have to show this oppositional defiance. That's a little bit of what's going on with the Republican debate, and as usual I brought this up on Café con Gas when the two Boston brothers beat up a homeless man saying Trump was right. Donald Trump's rhetoric continues to be extremely damaging for this country, but I just wanted to bring up this clip because I watched it and I said to myself, like, I don't know puedo. Everybody's laughing, but I'm kind of looking at it thinking, okay, so what does this mean? Why do these gentlemen feel like they're especially compelled to be so oppositional? I just wanted to bring that up for you. I'm hoping that, again, what Donald Trump is saying is not a moderate, it's a very extremist point of view. So what I'm hoping with the Republican Party, because our government, it runs it's not just a single party that runs it, but we have several parties that work together. What I hope that the Republicans can do, and as you saw with Jeb Bush being so shocked, is that they can really start to label and understand, tap into the extremist behaviors of Ben Carson and also Donald Trump. So that's my little Republican clip for you. Next, we have some really interesting news, and I'm just gonna pull this up and actually read this, but it's been a hard week for women, and I don't mean that in a way that I speak from victimhood, but there was a story that came out that was really distressing. So it's the Return of the Kings. They're a pro-rape group. There was a rally that was rumored to be taking place at the Paul Revere Mall in Boston, Massachusetts. And a U.S. blogger going by the name of Dariush Velazadeh, a U.S. blogger who penned the horrific legal rape argument, saying that women should be legally raped to be taught a lesson. So he wanted to have these rallies here all over the world in 43 different countries. So a group of women responded, and I'm going to cut to this. A group of women responded to this pro-rape rally by coming in and saying that if they were going to go on with this rally, they would come and beat up the protesters, not being afraid of being taken to jail, and then also they got support. So this was a group of Toronto women, but also they got a support from the Ottawa mayor saying that, we don't accept your misogynistic bullshit. So it was a really it was a really painful Facebook post to look at. It brought up a lot, and also it just brought up the mentality of what rape culture is like. Why do men feel like they need to teach women a lesson, but at an opportunity for dialogue, they don't come forward? I thought this was really bold because some of the fears that I even have as a woman, I have had some online trolls. They call this group the Return of the Kings, just a group of trolls. This blogger lives in his mother's basement, but causes a lot of damage with their speech. And so I've had trolls in my own experience, and the U.S. blogger made a vow to harass the women who actually spoke up, and that was really alarming. But these women from Toronto made a stand and put on their boxing gloves and saying, we're gonna defend ourselves against this rape rhetoric. And his argument for legal rape is really scary. It also made me reflect on my own experience with sexual assault and my own experience where I have discomfort with a man, where the conversation, he's not interested in me, but the conversation becomes who can be more powerful than who. And I wanted to share that good news, that these women came and they spoke up. And this was really interesting because a lot of Melissa Perry, who was at the Iowa caucus, actually spoke about being a rape survivor and also almost having an attack. And it was really interesting because she said when she was first raped by her neighbor when she was 9, she was in silence. I'm sorry, not 9, 15. She was in silence, and she took that rape and didn't move because she wanted to survive and she was afraid of being killed. But here are these women in a public space and online saying, we'll take a stand and we'll make more noise. So when Melissa Perry talked about her experience at the Iowa caucus, she said she thought about her students and she had someone come up to her and she felt like it was going to be an attack because the conversation escalated. This man came very angry saying, why do you deserve this? This is what I'm going to do to you. This is why you deserve it. And she made as much noise possible and actually put distance between her and attacker and the table. So these two conversations have been happening on the internet, and it's really, when I read the U.S. blogger's definition of rape, I was really taken back to the characteristics of some of the men who I have read about who have raped others or in my own experience with sexual assault. Thankfully, the Boston area Rape and Crisis Center has really great resources, and they have a hotline that you can call at any time if you don't feel safe. And I think that's a reminder that we have to really give ourselves and give as women, especially at a time where people can harass others online and kind of have that cloak of anonymity versus coming out and actually speaking about it. So I'm not here, of course, I'm not going to leave you hanging and just drop Trump and rape and say, all right, this is a great show, everybody go heal by yourselves. I'm bringing these up because they're difficult topics to speak about. They're topics in the news, and they're topics that I would highly, highly encourage you, if you are a woman, if you are someone who, is really is really concerned about these issues, that you speak up. And you also know, if you can't speak up at the time, you know, connect to images of like these Toronto women as well, and, you know, speak out in the open so others can also fight for you. And I think when it comes to rape and healing, or when it comes to social justice or economic issues, I think everybody has a place. It's like a soccer team. Sometimes you're going to want to be on the field playing. Sometimes you're going to be too tired. You need to pull out. And I think it's really important. In this scenario, these women really gave voice to some things that I couldn't even verbalize yet. So on that topic, there is another incredible woman in the news who gave voice. You know, we're talking about rape, sexuality, fighting hate speech publicly. There's always been public discourse on women's bodies, you know, in issues of abortion, also women's rights. It's a really not interesting time, but it's a time where discussions are happening and they're being reopened because we haven't really reached a conclusion. So in that time, in the spirit of that, here is a really, really, really beautiful Valentine's Day message from Alicia Keys. So in the name of healing, arts, and diversity, Alicia will tap into all of those things. This is really beautiful. So she wants to address the Speaker of the House, Paul Ryan, and some of the comments he has made against women. And she does it in a very, very clever and beautiful way, using her voice, her sexuality, and her intelligence at the same time. I really love this clip, and I hope that it encourages you and you like it as well. And if you don't, that's okay too. Whoa, hold on. I have to say this for the record. I'll say if you don't like this clip, that's okay too. Reach out, leave me a message, let me know about it, and we can talk about it.
Dear Paul, can I call you? I recently saw a picture of you working out, and I was like, I never saw the Speaker of the House working out before. He must be cool. Are you cool, Paul? Show me how cool you are. In fact, you can even maybe be my Valentine if you help me spread some love. Help bring justice reform to a vote so we can keep families together and reunite those that have been unjustly torn apart by excessive incarceration instead of just getting the help they needed. Can you do that, Paul? I know you can. I even wrote you a little Valentine from me to you, a little incentive. And I'm asking everybody to write one by going to weareheremovement.com. So you're welcome in advance for the thousands of love notes that are coming your way. Okay, well, that's it. I think you're so special. And keep me posted about all our progress and how we can work together. Sincerely, Alicia Keys.
So this was a really powerful message by Alicia Keys, encouraging people to engage, because even though the GOP, Republican Party are spewing these words, they are still part of America. We still have to deal with each other. And I think one of the biggest problems in America is that people want to have these blinders and be like, well, if I don't look to the side, homeless doesn't affect me because I'm not going to look someone in the eye. It actually affects you directly, and we're all part of one American system. So it's, I love Alicia Keys. I posted this and I said, well played, Alicia. We're well played. Also, I like the message, the heart of gold, trying to speak to the heart of others and using love to combat hatred and bigotry, and just ignorance and this obsession over controlling women's bodies. I will say I am talking about rape and men. I am in no way generalizing. I am in no way excusing that men also are not raped by women and there's not also violence against men. I am, however, highlighting a few instances as blatant as Return of the Kings that need to be addressed. So speaking of addressing feminism and addressing these issues, there was a really, I couldn't believe I was watching this. So I was on my feed, my Facebook feed, and I saw this article. I've seen a couple friends saying that if you support Bernie Sanders, you're looking for a sugar daddy, or if you support Bernie Sanders, you think an old white man can save you. I actually am very interested in Bernie Sanders as a politician because of his consistency, his experience across government, including local, and being a senator. But this is what I opened to. So Beyonce comes out with this video, Gloria Steinem, and I'm gonna have to probably bring this up. Gloria Steinem goes on the Bill Maher show and she says that young women are going for Bernie because that's where the boys are. Oh my gosh. Gloria Steinem has also said beautiful things like black women should be credited with launching, if not being responsible for the women's rights movement. But it was such a bad moment because this is the apology that she posted online, and I'm gonna have to end with this, and I'll have to come back with another point next week. But look, so Gloria Steinem wrote, so she then has a public apology. In a case of talk show interruptus, I misspoke on Bill Maher recently and apologized for what's being misinterpreted as implying young women aren't serious in their politics. What I had just said on the same show was the opposite. Young women are active, mad as hell, graduating in debt, but averaging $1 million less. Whether they gravitate to Bernie or Hillary, young women are activists and feminists in greater numbers than ever before. You know what the definition of gravity is? It's attraction. So I'm still even in her apology to young women because I felt in that moment shamed for even liking Bernie because I was like, oh, am I trying to get where the boys at? I'm like, no, I'm not. But for that single moment, I was like, this is a feminist icon. She has a lot of power, but she also has her own opinion, which I also respect. And if she votes and if she supports Hillary, that's great. But I know a lot of people who aren't. That decision's up to you. But when I read that, I was apologizing for saying that young women are attracted to Bernie just because that's where the boys are, or chasing boys. And then in her apology, using the word gravitating was a little bit interesting for me. So that's kind of what's happening. But just a great example of how what is the face of feminism? It no longer belongs to one person. She is one of the founding foremothers of this movement, but feminism no longer belongs to one person. And I think that's a really powerful message that everybody is grappling with, and also everybody's feeling as they watch the new Beyonce video and have mixed reactions to it. So that concludes tonight's Café con Gas episode. I had a poem that I was gonna play for you about Afro-Latinas, diversity in the Latina world, but we're gonna have to go and actually end on time tonight with a formal goodbye. So great to see you. Thank you so much for tuning into Café con Gas. I look forward to next week's episode, and please stay tuned for more. I'll post the video on my Facebook page.